Hi guys, let's see how a universal pro taper gold system, usually this color, okay, they call it gold but it's most of a copper color. So let's see how it works and how fast it prepares a simple canal. I'm using an acrylic block to depict a canal, and we shall see the sequence of files that we use frequently, and I'll try to keep it as simple as possible for everyone who's watching this video. So first of all, after the access opening is over and we understand that this is the orifice that you can see here, okay. So if you have got the neck of the orifice, you have to make sure that the file that you want to place in is around is very soft, and estimated working length should be known to the dentist. In this case we are keeping around 16 of estimated length that I can actually count from here, and these K files have the fluids from D0 to D16, so I'm just hoping that this is sufficient for this particular case. And I would always advise you to keep the EDTA gel coated onto the file, because it reduces the friction and helps you understand the anatomy better, and the choice will be mostly like this. So let's see how far this goes and if it is patent. So this seems like patent because it is already an acrylic block, and they are made for training purposes only. So you can see this 10 number file is easily sliding up there, and when you prepare a canal you usually don't see this easiness of 10 number file being patent. So if you get this patency, make sure you have this 1 stroke with the K file and you open up the apex and maintain the patency. So let's see what is the real working length in this case. I'll adjust it, and we'll try to keep the preparation just 0.5 beyond this point, because this will help us in many ways. It will help us in reducing the extrusion of the sealer, and that can be painful in certain patients, and in certain countries it is not allowed to have extrusion of sealer. They do not consider it as good control. Extrusion in certain countries is like apical puff is there, and it is a good thing that it ensures that you have a lot of patency and lot of hypochlorite has been used. But sometimes this patency can be deadly and it can produce a lot of post-operative pain. So we'll try to keep our working length till this point. As you can see, it's not protruding now, and from side if we see, it is completely there. So let's see how much it is. It's around 15.5, almost there. So I'll use my 15 number file to understand how good it is. If you are not using 15 number file, after 10 number file it has been suggested to use a pro taper glider, pro glider, they call it pro glider. So I'm using this jelly again. This is EDTA gel onto coated, and I'm going in again once again, and see this. Okay, I'm just putting sufficient pressure so that it doesn't hurt or create a ledge. Okay, so let it be this way. Okay, just 1 or 2 strokes and it creates sufficient space for itself. I'm not pushing a lot of debris beyond that point. Irrigation is mandatory, irrigation is mandatory. The orifice is already enlarged because this is an acrylic block, and it will be non uh, it will be of no importance if I use a orifice enlarger in this particular case. So let's start with the S1 file. For S1 file, I will keep till 15.5 or 15, because 15.5 is my working length, and if I just keep it at 15 it shall work. So this will be sufficient if I use it till here. Okay, I am using torque settings at 3 Newton centimeter and 250 rpm. So I'm using this, and that shall help, and that is sufficient because it has been provided by the company. In certain cases you can use this gauge also. Okay, so this is usually sufficient, so I can place my file like this and done. So this is exactly at 15, using EDTA cream again, and I'll try to be as passive as possible, and I'll try to go in 1 or 2 strokes, not single stroke, because sometimes going in single strokes can be dangerous. I will wipe my file because it usually contains debris. You could heard the sign, audible sign from the motor that it has been there. Again, I will again recapitulate this, and I can still feel that it is a bit tight here. Okay, so I can feel some friction, so I'll remove this and re-irrigate and go again with the with the rotary file of choice. So the best part about Nitai, the new generation Nitai or Pro Taper Gold, is that they are usually flexible like this. So the uh, the property, you have to use it in a different way. This flexibility and maintaining this shape, that helps us in going into uh, odd curvatures or certain cases where the file is not going. So you can see this without movement it is going here. So according to the rules, the file can actually move in 1 to 2 further direction without separation. So this gives me a good detail. And let's see. So the best part about night eyes are, you can see the debris here. It is located on this area. This is the actual use of the file. It is supposed to be used and for making space in coronal 1/3. So this is happening here, and I will move on to S2. We will again go for 15 mm working length, and the best part about night eyes in this generation is that you have to enter the canal first and then activate the handpiece. The previous generations, the usual working length, whatever it was, you have to make sure that there is a straight line path. But for more conservative preparations, this new generation of night eye helps. So I've irrigated. I will go again with a K file, recapitulate, re-irrigate. My file is ready, and this times the settings will change. They will become torque at 1 Newton centimeter, because lower torque is required as you reach the apex. Lower torques are required, and I'm using the same RPM of 250. So again we will just go inside and go as passive as possible without any force and activate it, and see this. It just kisses the apex and comes out. Just 1 or 2 strokes and we are done. After this, as I always focus on, it has to be recapitulation and re-irrigation. This time I will use the torque of 1.5 that has been prescribed by the company or the manufacturer's instructions. 15 mm file I'm using, and you can see irrigation, recapitulation, and I will re-irrigate it. And my canal is almost prepared with S2. So 2004 almost it is prepared. In certain cases where it is very calcified, this much preparation is sufficient to be obturated. I'm going again with my file. You can see I'll go be as passive as possible. Only the pressure of a nib of a pencil, that much pressure should be there. So this time 250 rpm and 1.5 newton centimeter. See this, and it touches the apex and done. It is prepared. You can see the debris of the acrylic almost to middle 1/3. Apical 1/3 we have still not got. There is no debris at the apical 1/3, so I believe it is not prepared. I'm sure that I need to prepare on a bigger size so that apical zone has some debris and we feel that it is completed. So the next file is F2. I will use F2. Till the specified working length of 15 mm. The torque will increase this time because you need to shave out a little more at the apical end, create bigger space, and you can see this, it is going in now. But this time I'm using 2 or 3 strokes. I have not reached the apex. I'll move out. I will irrigate, recapitulate, and re-irrigate the case again. I'm doing away from the actual recording area because it was creating a hindrance in recording. My case is almost ready, but you can see that it did not reach the apex. This does not reach the apex. So we should always have some apical debris, and that is the real sign of preparation from these manufacturers. I'm not talking about all the manufacturers, but yes, many educators say that this file system has we can see very slight, almost no debris at this point. I believe I should recapitulate and re-irrigate for the next bigger file, or we can, the case is sufficiently prepared till F2. So this is 2508. I will prepare in this much preparation is usually sufficient, but as we could see that the file was not reaching till the full apex. You could see this was not happening. That means we have just enough space to stop the GP point there, and just last apical 1/3 area will be sufficient for preparing another for the sealer. So I will try to find out if everything is okay inside. My K file is coming out. That means patency is sufficient. And for this, we always teach how to do a recapitulation mode. So I will do apical tuning now. Few of my participants already know what apical tuning is all about. So apical tuning is gradual increment of the just apical 1/3 or apical 3/4 of this area, 3 to 4 mm, with a K file, so that it includes all the small debris that is there, or it finds out or it refines the apical 1/3 for receiving the GP point. So my working length was 15 mm. Here 15 mm, and I will go with a 15 number K file, 20 number K file with, and give a 360-degree turn. That is it. Nothing much to worry. It was very smooth. It came out very easily. The next file will be 25 number file at 15 mm working length. So I'll use this. You can see 25 number red file, and I will just use this. Go in. You can feel that there is a tightness or resistance at the insertion of a K file, that to 25 mm, 25 number, and 25 number file is going with the resistance, and it will clear all the debris that is there inside, if at all it is present. The next file will be, I have used at 15 mm both 20 and 25 number. Now I will shorten the working length of for 30 number. It should be around 14. I'll use around 14. I'll go in and give a rotation. I can actually feel the resistance of the file. That means apical tuning before obturation is a good method. Okay. It is usually helpful. You can see there is a slight shining spot here. So these shining spots tell us that there was slight resistance inside, and to clear out or make good space for the GP point, it helps. I am going at a 13 mm working length with a 35 number file. See this is the 35 number file. If you can see, 35 number file, green, and I'm going in and see this. And I'm out. This will require irrigation and recapitulation once again. So what all has to be done? You have seen the protocol. Now I will dry the canal and obturate the canal. Before obturation, we have to take a master cone radiograph. This is an acrylic block. It is transparent, so you have both options. What is to be done? You can use a 2506 GP point, or you can use dedicated GP points that are provided by the company. Okay, so these are specifically for F1 and F2 and F3. So we will try to see which one is much smoother or reaches the apex faster. In today's episode, we are doing only warm vertical condensation technique, and for that reason I will not show you lateral condensation. I will show you warm vertical altogether. So the dedicated GP points are actually made with very high-tech machines, and they are actually beautiful. Why they're expensive? Certain people consider them expensive and don't use them, but in personal practice I have seen that not much has to be prepared after the preparation of the canal is there. And so I'm using a dedicated GP point, and see this at 15 mm it is there. We are 15.5 at working length. We are giving just leeway, sufficient space for the sealer to flow in and close the apical end, and we are using this GP point. And see, I have put a pinch here to mark it. Some people can use sketch pens or permanent markers for if they're doing multiple canals. See, I was at 15 and see this. It fits beautifully here. Okay. Fits beautifully here, and this debris you can see, this was prepared, this was there with the apical tuning. Whatever debris was prepared, it was due to apical tuning. So this fits beautifully. I might use the same GP point for teaching the technique. And what we can do is, you can see the sealer. I'll show you also with the gutta-percha points that are available at a different diameter. So the dedicated GP will have 2508, and the GP point provided in the with other brands, or what they say 06 taper, this also reaches easily. See this, there is a pinch mark you can see, and with slight pressure it has reached. It has more space right now. Okay, and we are ready to obturate in this case. So for now I'm using this dedicated GP point from the company ProTaper, and let's see. Dedicated GP points are helpful, and I'm using a paper point to dry out the canal. See this, it is easily bendable, so much of moisture is visible. For most of the sealers that are resin based, complete drying of the canal is essential. But if in case you are using pulp canal sealer or zinc oxide based sealer, uh, a little moisture can be helpful, so nothing to worry about it. I am using much smaller paper point so that it reaches the deepest point, and I'll count till 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and dry it out. I will try to use 3-4 extra paper points so that I assure that there is no moisture left. My previous video that is available on YouTube, you can already see how many paper points have to be used, and let's see. I'm mixing AH plus. I believe I should show you how I usually mix it, because it will be helpful for certain participants. I have taken a small portion of the AH plus paste A. This is paste A, AH plus, and paste B, almost equivalent amount. Some people do complain about the viscosity of this material or something, but this is a very small technique. Just make sure that the mix is homogeneous and there are no white streaks that are seen, and this is how I check the consistency. It usually gives me a strand. See, it gives me a good luting cement sort of a consistency. Very thin, very thin consistency. The benefit of pulp canal sealer or zinc oxide based sealers or the powder liquid sealers is, in case you are dealing with very fine canals and you are not able to prepare them to a bigger size because of being calcified or too curvaceous, the consistency can be much reduced, or viscosity can be reduced, and we can use the sealer. So here is the block, and I'll show you how much material do I take. If this is the material, I'll take only this much at the apex or the apical 1/3 of the GP point, and I will enter the canal with a swinging motion. Okay, I'll take another portion, little extra going in, and let's press it. Okay, but what happens is, this is for some people it is too much of sealer, so you can see so much of coating is there on the GP. You can keep it aside. take a small paper point and certain practitioners believe in removing the extra sealer because in this technique sealer is not the most essential thing. It has to be the GP point. So this extra sealer will come out on the paper point. Go ahead and just place your GP point again till the full working length. Okay, this pinch helps us. डिम्पल वो वाला कहाँ गया फाइनल करने वाला सर वहीं पे है ये हटा दो फाइनल वाला लगा दो so this is the warm vertical down pack thing. If I press the ring you can hear the sound. This if you can hear the sound that means it is active. If you release it, it is not there. So usually the tip gets heated, okay, with the entire body. In other down pack systems only the tip will get heated. Okay, these are down pack pens that you can see usually nowadays with cordless facility. These are there, so they are also used for continuous wave technique. So we are just focusing here on warm vertical technique. I'll try to shear off a little bit from the orifice side and then I'll show you how it works in the other area. So you activate it, put it laterally, stop it and reactivate it. So it usually shears off the extra GP. Okay. For most practitioners, the obturation finishes off here and they just ball burnish the upper part or they plug the upper part. But the heat usually transfer for next 3 to 4 mm and that's why these dedicated GPs, they are actually chemically prepared in that way. So I'm trying to enter and plug down the area. So I'm just teaching you how to press the pluggers. It has to be not onto the wall but onto the center of the GP point. Okay, you can see a very small amount of sealer coming out, small tip. This is sufficient for a apical puff. Okay, this is not very excess, not a lot of GP sealer is coming out, but it ensures that apical end has been filled completely. And now I'll show you how I will move ahead. You can see, so I'll use it against the wall and bring out some more material. See, so much of GP is coming out. I will go ahead and do it again. You have to make sure that the plugger is cold, it is not hot. The reason is some people have taught us that it has to be hot, but if it is hot it will bring out a lot of GP along with it. So cool it, you can cool it down with a swab of alcohol and that is it. See, my GP is not coming out, only this little bit of, just a small dot of sealer is out and and here. Okay, if after this we can start off with the backfill, but in certain cases when you are preparing for post and you need little more, then just go in, stop for a second and just out. See this, a lot of material is coming out. Now my plugger will not go in this area, it will not go in further, so I will use a smaller plugger and it will be there to press it. See, so this is almost like 12 mm of plugger that has pressed. If you see this silicone stopper, 12 mm is there. Total length was 15, this is 12, that means 15 minus 12, we have a 3 mm of apical plug. Okay, this is how a apical plug looks. It's just a small dot of sealer, and see this, this is a apical plug. This is good enough for your post and core purpose. After, immediately after this, if there is no sealer within the canal, you have washed it thoroughly, you can go ahead and do your post and core part. That will be part of our next video. And see this, how beautiful it is. Now I will show you how to do backfill. For this I'm using this sea fill. I've been using it for a very long time and I'm happy with the product. So this is a rubber cup that helps because the entire machine is very hot, and to control the system it is required. This is like a protection system. This is a silver tube, and out of which the GP will come out. I'll show you how the temperature will rise. Hope it is visible right now. See, 56, 58, 60, 60. So these are three options: 60, 180, 200 and 230 degrees, how much you want. Usually 180 is sufficient for us. 160, 180 is sufficient. I'm just showing you how the temperature rises so that you don't miss out. And my settings are till 160, so it will stop. There's a small gatta parcha pallet that is used. This is the GP that is unconventional, and here is a place in this system. This is a area and this is the plugger. So we pull it out like a normal gun. See how it looks. This is the rod that enters here. Okay, so it will go like this. In this space I will put the pellet, loaded, and now it will go. This is a straight thing, so I can use it like this because this is a acrylic block, but you will not find even a single case where you can use this straight thing. So usually there is a small key that is provided. Okay, this helps us in bending the instrument. See this, I'll show you how this, and see, it bends it like a ice cream scoop that you have seen in your childhood. If I press, GP will come out here. Okay, in a very fluid motion. Few of my colleagues have shown their name writing with this, and you can write anything. It is so fine and so much of control is there. We can go for V, and T, virtual training in endodontics. You can control the flow in a really great way. You can have a hashtag also. Okay, so virtual training. After this all this play that we have done, I'll show you how it works. You can see an orange spot here, that is the last point, and I'll show you from side also. This is the way you pour the GP inside, and with its pressure itself the point will come out. You just keep it very light. The last plugger that went inside was this, so we will use this and just press it. You see it from the coronal side also. And this is done. Okay, small increments are required. You can do the same thing in 2 increments also. You can place 2 increments and just do it. For 3D obturation, this is essential. If you are not using this technique, this equipments are essential for 3D obturation. After this, the 3D obturation techniques will be used only with certain amount of materials that are thermoplasticized carriers. Okay, hope you enjoy the video, and let's see how everything goes on. Welcome to the world of virtual training in endodontics. I'm Dr. Vaibhav Garg, and see you in another video. Bye for now. Take care.